in the Bahamas, hosting the first ever PokerStars Championship. We are down to 3 in the main event. 738 started, 6 returned for the final day, 3 eliminations so far, and now these players remain. Christian Harder has a stranglehold on things right now. The big chip lead, 13.2 million, which translates to 82 big blinds. Cliff Josephy, second in chips, 5.7 million, 35 bigs. And the short stack, the player in the danger zone, is Michael Vela. He's got 2.3 million, that's 14 big blinds. We are now kicking off level 31. The blinds are 80,000, 160,000 with a 20,000 ante. 133 hands played so far. This next hand is hand number 134. As the players return from dinner, hope you had a good break, hope you enjoyed highlights of the day so far. Please keep your questions and comments coming in. Hashtag PokerStarsTV on Twitter. As we see Michael Vela all in, maybe reinvigorated by a nice steak. Certainly brought the toothpick from the restaurant.
You had a good blackjack hand. You didn't lie.
Yeah, all right. You're 6'5" suited?
He had 6'5" also. We both had 6'5".
I believed you.
What am I going to do? Fold for the rest of my life, Charter?
We know that's not happening.
Oh, 160.
He did set that image up well, though.
I mean...
He did. He worked hard to set that up. Small in.
Michael Vela, first to act on the button, shoves with king-queen suited.
I can't see him from here.
Sorry.
My vision's terrible, but just don't, don't do
bad.
that.
Come on, let's go.
Oh, you don't want me to draw what I thought I had.
I wasn't gonna be worried.
Vela picking up the blinds and antes there.
Hell, give me one more good hand and I'll almost double up with 3 hands.
You're just gonna put greens in there while you stack up all the blues and the rest of us don't have any blues? Is that how you're gonna do this? Thank you.
I didn't notice.
I mean, what do you have? Ornery,
ornery
sauce for freaking dinner?
I don't think that was bad. I think that was
a little ornery.
I think Charter knew how to take it.
So we will continue to show you every single hand live with hole cards until we have played down to a winner in this 5K main event. Everyone's now locked up, nearly $260,000. That's what third place pays. 353,000 for the runner-up, 480,000 for the winner.
One of the first 2 hands.
2 good sweats I had. I'm gonna have to stop peeling them.
That's what I was trying to do when I was trying to sweat it when he moved in.
Raise and take it for Christian Harder.
No.
Stiff and they're far to the middle. Like
no, definitely not.
You can't look for the 4 across, 3 across type of thing.
You can, but
you have to dig deep.
Yeah, you definitely have to dig, and they're small. It's all bad.
They're like cardboard.
Well, at least we're getting a little bit of banter between the 3 players now they're back from dinner. This is Josephy's button. Ace-4. Cliff's raising. 380,000. And his opponents fold. Well, at the start of the dinner break, my colleague Matt Broughton caught up with the short stack, Michael Vela.
I'm joined by Michael Vela. Michael, thanks for taking a moment to talk to me.
Yeah.
I was in the sauna with Jessica and Laurel a bit earlier on, and they told me that you've not played much really since that big win in 2007. Why not? You seem to be pretty good at it.
Yeah, it's work's gotten complicated, and I just, for some reason, I fell out of love with the game, to be very honest with you.
Really?
And, yeah, I really did. I just fell out of love with the game, and recently I started to get a little spark back for it, so I started playing a little bit. Played 3 times last year, had a little bit of success, and you know, right now I said this is one of my favorite events. I think it's one of the better events in the world, and we came back down and played again today.
And it was 10 years since the big win. How different is this experience from how that experience was?
Experience is not much different. Players are better today, definitely. I mean, the betting is much more difficult. They're a lot harder to play, especially here in the Bahamas. You got the 18, 19-year-olds who are always firing at you. So last year I turned 50. I got to play in the senior event, so I got to be the young guy. That was fun. So that was a big step for me.
And did you do like any work or research, like anything on your game to try and make sure you didn't like, you know, you're not playing a 10-year-old version of the game?
No, I never have. No,
Really?
I mean, when I sit down and play, I play the players. You know, the cards are the cards. I was a math major in college. I don't use the math at all. I sit down, I play. I'm sure when they're announcing, they're saying, what the hell is he doing? I'm a bit erratic here, erratic there. And I've made a ton of mistakes from the beginning to the end. If I ever took this seriously and played a lot, I'd be a much better player, but I made a lot of mistakes.
Now, one thing I noticed was lacking was anyone to talk to. Like, these guys just don't want to chat with you. Is it a big part of your gaming experience to try and get some sort of interaction out there, guys?
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, it was part of it. You know, it was something I used to use to my advantage. Today, at this point in time, I'm just looking to have a dialogue and have some fun up there. I mean, it's a long drag up there, sitting there for all these hours and throwing cards away. Sure. So I'd love to do that. But you know, these are good guys, and we've had good conversations.
Well, the good news is we can hear everything you say. So feel free to just keep chatting to us. We're there rooting for you.
Excellent.
Now, I just wanted to ask you one last thing. We have caught glimmers, and I understand that you have a joke about Jesus playing golf. And I was just wondering if you'd share it with our viewers.
Sure, no problem at all. So Jesus, Moses, and this old guy are playing golf. It's a beautiful island par 3. It's about 220. So Jesus steps up first, hits the ball, hits it about 10 yards short of the green. So Moses is cracking up. He's laughing.
That's fantastic.
He's laughing.
Thanks ever so much for that, Michael. Really enjoyed speaking to you. Thanks ever so much.
All right, have a good
We'll
day.
catch up with you soon. Cheers. Back to you guys.
Awesome work by Mr. Broughton as we head back to the final table. 3 American players. The first ever PokerStars Championship trophy will be going to the US. And let's get Mr. Broughton involved in the conversation.
What a lovely man. What a lovely, lovely man. He didn't flinch when I pretended that I'd spent some time in the sauna with his girlfriend and his girlfriend's sister, though. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe that just happens all the time. Hey, what happens in the Bahamas stays in the Bahamas, right?
Cliff Josephy with pocket 7s. Starts the hand with just over 30 big blinds.
Been a really incredible day, hasn't it, for Cliff, considering he came in so short, quite openly, no expectations. I'm due to go out first, but this is looking impressive.
Yeah, well, he's guaranteed to at least equal his finishing position from last year's World Series of Poker main event. That third place finish secured him $3.5 million.
From high, if they wanted to look, they could have looked.
I saw a card that wasn't a face card. That's all I can confirm.
Of course, Cliff, no stranger to online success as well. In 2005, he was the #1 ranked player in the world.
What I legit had.
I saw one of those.
Christian Harder, no slouch when it comes to online poker. His results pretty even between live and online, totaling $7 million. And Michael Vela, of course, is a former World Poker Tour champion.
Yeah, it got to be said, this entire tournament has been a real mixture, different age groups, different personality styles, not just, you know, full of the young robots, some older guys showing the skills. Always good to kind of remind us how diverse the fan base of poker playing is.
Pocket 5s for Christian Harder in the small blind. He raises.
It's a fun game. You go from the button to the big blind. I love 3-handed.
Looks like it was raise and take it.
Fun,
Meanwhile,
fun.
Spear
When was the last time you played three-handed, Mike?
sends in some positive feedback. Hashtag PokerStars TV.
When was the last time? Out in Vegas sometime. this
Enjoying your interviews, Matt. He says, great job.
summer. I won a
Thanks very
little
much.
tournament
I'm
up in
getting to go
Venetian.
out and meet people. I don't normally get to do that. It's been very nice. Thank you. Thank you for your kind thoughts.
And I love Hannah, who sent in a screen grab.
I know.
My internet froze on the only apt facial expression for a Vela joke. And there is Matt giving that kind of look to the camera that says, you might want to cut now.
That is an excellent picture. Thank you very much. That's really made me smile, Hannah.
Anything big?
Semi. You have one more pile of greens on the other side I can't see? You have 3 piles of greens?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the chip leader is opened on the button with ace-queen suited. Michael Vela has king-6 in the big blind, and he defends.
Guess I'll check.
Standard MO,
I love it. It's
checking it up.
just, I mean, when do we ever see this? Down to the last 3 players in a main event. Love it. And there was me asking if he'd had to develop his game over the last 10 years. And he's like, nah, just keep on doing what it's doing. And the guy's third out of 700 plus players. So you go, do you know what? It worked then, and it seems to still be working today.
Well, again, we talk about the standard Vela MO. Check in the dark, float the flop with pretty much any 2 cards.
And somehow get there.
Not this time.
Oh.
Harder going for value on the river, 475,000.
I think you hit the queen.
Vela folds,
I think you're right.
and Vela's down to
I don't
11
know why I'm
bigs.
telling you, but you
You
are.
hit the queen.
No reason to lie.
I had you on queen high. Don't have an ace, you're betting it. I have a king. I gave you a queen.
Actually, he did have the ace. So 3 players have cashed out today so far. The big money up top, as in every poker tournament. $480,000 to the winner, plus, of course, the coveted trophy. The first trophy of this new global tour, which will head to Panama in March. That's the next stop after we've wrapped up proceedings here in the Bahamas. A reminder that satellites are running right now for the Panama leg of the tour. Just search Panama in the tournament lobby if you want to be there in mid-March, and we'll be streaming the last 5 days of the PokerStars Championship Panama main event.
Very excited. Very, very excited. New venue, new city.
Come on.
16th to the 20th of March, you'll be able to watch the action on PokerStars TV. Vela all in,
Double yogi.
no call.
A lot of people are asking me whether I explained what I'd done afterwards with Mikey. I'm not a
Couldn't even give you
monster.
raise.
I know.
Said he
I didn't tell him beforehand because I wanted a genuine reaction.
Over a raise.
Yeah.
Same thing like when I won.
I understand.
What'd you say? I wouldn't have shipped over a raise?
I said you may not have shit.
Absolutely. 2 weeks. Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought super. Actually.
Nine, 7 in the muck. Blind on blind. Christian Harder, Cliff Josephy. 10-7 off in the small blind. What a beauty.
Quick hello to Serene, who's just joined us. It's afternoon in her part of the world.
Wow.
Serene says, it's been a while since I've been able to watch the final 3 live. Enjoy the action.
bit and a win for Christian Harder. Nearly 14 million in his stack now. Incredible.
See what they did to me on the break? So they interview me, right? And he goes, and you know, we were in and out with that joke about the Jesus Moses and the little guy.
Yeah.
So would you look into the screen and tell it to the screen? I was like, really? All right. You don't want the horse one? That's better. He goes, no, we want that one.
They want the PG one.
Yeah. So I start telling it, and he comes over and interrupts me. He was just busting my balls.
That's funny.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. It was good.
Balls busted.
It was really good. 160. Oh, it was like McDonald's. I got a refund. Beautiful. Loving it.
Unraised, blind on blind.
I think we're playing 80-180 over here.
That's 7-5 against 8-4. Josephy pairs is 5, Vela pairs is 4. $175,000 apiece.
Play.
Check.
Vela takes over the betting on the turn.
Here, Cliff, you want me to put him in 100 stacks for you?
I just want to see how much you're playing so I don't make any mistakes. Thank you.
275,000. Josephy calls. This hand going to the river.
Getting pretty big.
Inconsequential deuce. 1.28 million.
Average stack, 7 million. I have a 4.
Yeah, it's going to get checked to showdown. And Vela leaves himself with 10 big blinds.
Oops.
Should have shipped there. See if you can call me the 5 like the Russian did. I think you might have.
I'll tell you afterward.
I think you might have. I think you were calling any bet.
That's why I was checking out your stack. I don't know if I wanted to call it or not. Good read, Mike.
King 5 for Cliff on the button. Folds.
Can't do it with those two. They were that bad.
Michael gives Christian a walk.
A lot of people on Twitch are kind of suggesting that Michael Vela is having a meltdown. This is how he's been playing throughout the day. It's a real roller coaster style. This is admittedly the lowest we've seen him get, but we have seen him up and down throughout the final
I'm the only one
6.
sitting here. I can throw it there. You'll know who it came from.
Right now he is down to 1.5 million. Incredible jumps between the 3 players. 1.5 jumps to 5.6, jumps to a staggering 14.1 million. Christian Harder, top of the pile by a long way.
Pete Blow on Twitter says, always good to get back from the pub and see it still going. Remember on day 3 when you were panicking? We never panic.
We never panic, we just react.
John Fergus says, it probably wouldn't have been very good, but I really want to hear the Jesus playing golf joke in full. Trust me, John. Seriously, trust me. You don't.
Well, we only know one of Cliff's cards here. It's a raise from Christian to 400,000 with his 4-3. Off does hit the 4. Cliff has got 10 something.
Oh, the wind blew and the cat flew.
Ooh, give me a heart attack.
Yeah, James physically jumped out of his seat there. It was all nice and quiet, and then out of nowhere, I guess, make the mistake of reminding Michael we can hear everything, even if no one else is really reacting to him bursting into song halfway through a hand he isn't even playing in. 315 continuation bet, and whatever Cliff's other card was, it wasn't a queen or a 7.
Serene says, I told the golf joke to my husband. He thinks it's hilarious. Now I'm going to tell it to him 2 more times.
Well, that is the Vela way. Don't forget, if it's good enough to be told once, it's good enough for a 3 or 4 outing.
Oh, is that went all the way there?
Ace 10 for Christian Harder. Starts the hand with 14.5 million. Most of the chips in play.
Yeah.
The vast majority of the chips. Michael Vela, meanwhile, is down to 8 big blinds now. And I know you can't discount anyone.
Big cards.
Anything can happen, fortunes can change, but he just has the air of a man against the ropes right now.
You never know. This is nice. I like this move. So an ace-10 raise from Christian, and then even with Michael Vela behind on 8 big blinds, Cliff Josephy still got the cojones to make a 3-bet with his 4-5.
That is the one thing I respect most about Cliff's play, is it's fearless.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of reason to just not want to get involved in that, but I mean, this is obviously ace-10 is a big hand in this situation, but why would you want to go to war? Then again, let's be honest, Christian Harder's radar is very rarely wrong, but there's just no upside to getting into that particular battle. A great spot, great moment for Josephy. Hats off.
I see him.
He allows himself a little smile. So he's hovering around the 35 big blind mark.
Getting late early around here.
Please stop doing this.
James, I mean, the thing is, what Michael is not appreciating views is that James has only recently had his dinner. This is quiet time. You've got to let it settle. You can't have these upsets, all that adrenaline rushing through your chicken.
I made the mistake of having 2 desserts.
Well, it wasn't a mistake. I watched it. It was very deliberate. Very nice, though, wasn't it?
With the benefit of hindsight, it was a mistake.
Let's see, sir.
As he shifts uncomfortably on a very full stomach.
Just look at one.
All in from Mr. Michael Vela.
Shoving small to big.
I have no choice. I get one of those.
That was interesting, actually. You left some chips behind, but the dealer's like, yeah, whatever. We're all in. Come on now. We know what you meant.
Oh, wow. The other one was good, too.
Listen.
Thank you.
So still fewer than 10 big blinds for Vela. The player at immediate risk.
I got it, don't worry.
Jesus, Christmas trees.
Man. There's patience, and then there is Michael Vela.
So it's harder against Josephy in the blinds. Christian completes in the small. Cliff looking down. A king-jack in the big.
Ooh, sneaky. Going to be in position with a heavily disguised big hand.
10-7 deuce. King high still ahead. Action goes check, check. Board pairs on the turn.
It's 175.
A bet from Christian Harder. 175,000.
Yeah, good.
Call from Josephy. His hand goes to the river, which is the Queen of Hearts. So king high ahead before the flop, on the turn, and on the river. Would a bluff work here?
Check.
Well,
9 high.
Harder thinks better of it. Checks it to showdown.
So,
And Cliff will win this pot with king high.
guess that might have worked.
9 what?
4.
Not a massive
Suited?
pot, not going to make a huge difference.
I mean, I could have made you show, so I should have made you show. I don't want.
It wasn't.
Yeah, true.
So we've now played 150 hands
I
today.
realized I should know what you're limping in with.
Still 3 players
I
remaining.
didn't realize it was so strong. The 9-4 offsuit.
Good hand.
But I guess if I'm not going to raise the king jack,
Worked out. What happened is the best case scenario. Check the flop, call the turn. $350.
Button raised from Christian Harder with ace queen. Cliff Josephy
I got you.
is in the small blind. He has king jack.
Surely some fireworks.
Well, let's not forget that Michael Vela is still to act in the big blind, and he's super short, and he decides to move all in with ace-6, dominated by Christian Harder.
Uh-oh.
1-4, Christian.
Now here's the question, does Harder just flat this shove, or does he reshove to isolate?
It's 1,485,000.
Interesting question. Pros and cons to both move.
And
Guys,
one of the
better not let
things-
me win this one, because then I'll have 2 million again.
One of the things you have to consider is that what kind of hands is
Thank
Cliff
you.
just flatting with, knowing that this move might be made by Vela behind.
Yeah,
If it smells like a trap,
yeah. It's a he knows that he knows that he knows. Well aware that could
Okay,
happen.
triple up.
so Harder has elected to call the all-in. And I think Michael Vela's already dreaming of the triple up, hoping that Cliff Josephy calls as well, and he somehow gets back in this game.
What is it, 1,485,000, right? Yeah.
Well, it's not going to be easy. He's going to need to get lucky, regardless of whether he's up against 1 or 2 players here. I can't imagine, by the way, that Cliff is seriously thinking of making any kind of re-raise himself. This is clearly deciding whether he wants to actually play this 3-way with action on the side against Christian Harder.
Yeah. I just don't know if King Jack is the kind of hand I want to take into this scenario. I mean, we know Christian can raise with anything. We've got a bit of a feeling of what Michael Vela's range probably is for shoves, but he is super short, so that can be much wider.
Well, Pete Blow has concluded that Michael Vela's shove is horrible,
I call.
as Cliff Josephy
Can I go to the
calls
left?
as well. So there could be action on the side here, and Michael Vela could win a pot of 4.5 million if ace-6 somehow wins here. Of course, if it doesn't, he is out.
3 times, baby.
Yeah, this would be really interesting if Vela can pick it up, but he is least probable right now from a mathematical point of view. But it's poker. Poker doesn't always care.
So Vela dominated by Christian Harder. And Cliff Josephy
Dark check in my whole life.
says he is checking dark for the first time in his life.
As a tribute to Michael Vela.
So close to him.
I like the way you're thinking, though.
Can I go right now?
Endorsed.
So the flop is 8-7-6 all diamonds, so it's domination or rotation. Vela now ahead, but Josephy has got a flush draw.
Pair the board for me. Pair the board.
Action goes check, check. We get the 3 of hearts on the turn. Vela now a 62% favorite to triple up.
Wow.
I think I might be in 3rd place. I think so.
Again, the action goes check, check. The river card is a diamond.
Aye, aye, aye.
Somebody's got to have a diamond.
Sure enough.
That's the one that beats me. The God. Oh, are you kidding me? 4 flush beats me. Jesus, pair the freaking board.
Michael Vela eliminated in 3rd place.
Really? Seriously.
What an ugly way to go.
It's going to get real boring around here now.
Nice guy. Great
That's
result.
ugly.
$259,980. And we are heads up in the PokerStars Championship Bahamas main event.
Wow. Pair the board in the river.
It's too
Pair
late.
the board.
It's
I triple
too
up. Ugly, ugly, ugly.
Do you need to,
Good luck, guys.
do you need to stop?
Thanks, Mike.
Heads up? Yeah.
So we are going
Oh
to
my
reset for the heads-up battle between Christian Harder and Cliff Josephy. Let's look at the stacks. Well, Christian Harder does not have the chip advantage he once had. Yes, he's in front right now with 11.9 million, but Cliff Josephy now has a stack of 9 million. It's 74 big blinds for Christian Harder, 56 big blinds for Cliff Josephy.
Okay, great.
I got to be honest, I had a lot of love for Michael Vela, but I am fairly excited about this heads up. 2 really, really solid players.
So a short break, 5 minutes, and then we will be back to play down to a winner. Harder versus Josephy. Heads up in the main event here.